to Don's Life. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I know that there's a lot going on in the world right now with the COVID-19 crisis, and I hope that you and your families are safe. I also wanted to thank everybody that has subscribed to my channel or that has watched some of the videos. I appreciate your support. Any likes you can throw my way, any comments on how I can improve my content. I know that everything on here is at that amateur level, but I'm having fun with it, and I like sharing my passion for technology and automotive and reviews with you guys. So again, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing in Don's Life, please hit that like button on the videos that you like, give feedback whenever possible, and I'd love it if you'd subscribe. So today we're going to have a look at the Nextbase 522 dash cam. I already have a 422 dash cam that we put in the Cadillac Escalade. We like it quite a bit, very affordable, the features are great, so far very reliable. So I got a 522, which we're going to put in the BMW M4. So we'll go through some of the features of the 522 first, and then we'll do a quick unboxing of everything that's in here, and then we'll have a look at the full install in the BMW M4. All right, so starting with the 522, what makes it different than a 422? Well, here's the 422 here, okay? The 422 is really the same unit. Two differences. The 522 has a 3-inch touchscreen. The 422 has the 2.5. So depending on your install and if you want that to be a distraction while you're driving or not, that might play into your decision. The biggest difference to me besides the screen is the lens. So the lens on the 522 is polarized, so it's going to filter out the glare much better compared to the 422, 322, 222, 122, all the way down the line. Other than that, it's the same. This has the door covered on the where the quick mount is, but all the same features. So 440p at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60 frames per second. It does have Alexa. The problem with using Alexa, not really a problem, but you do have to install the skill on the Alexa app on your phone. Then you have to group them together, and then you can start using some of the features like, hey dashcam, please record my footage, or I think you can even get it to do some media functions with your radio and stuff like that. Probably not a feature I'm going to use. I don't really go deep into it, but it's there if you want it. And they're talking a lot about Alexa on the advertising of the product and the marketing. 3-inch screen, which I talked about, does have the SOS feature, which you need to set up, but basically it allows you to interface with the dash cam or set it up in such a way that if there was an accident and you needed to get emergency responders to the scene, everything down to your blood type, I guess, you can have that set up and it will get that information out, use GPS to figure out your location and get people to respond to your incident. Does have the Click and Go Pro mount. I really like that. It's a very strong magnet and it just clips right in once your mount is in place on the windshield. And then if you're worried about it being stolen or you just want to move it from vehicle to vehicle, you just take it off and put it in the other one. So that's pretty cool. It does have cloud service as well as the ability to download your footage right to your phone through a Wi-Fi hotspot that gets set up in the vehicle when the camera's on. And then you can download your footage right to the phone, and then you can edit it on there or send it or whatever you want to do. Or because you can set it up with the cloud service, if there was an incident, I think you can have it set up so it will notify your insurance company and send footage of what happened. So it's an irrefutable defense, really, if there's a problem when it comes to who did what and how did the accident happen. And then lastly, intelligent parking mode, which will automatically detect motion and start recording. So you can determine, somebody's messing with your vehicle, tried to break in, a hit and run, whatever it might be. So without further ado, let's open these up and give you a quick unboxing so you can see what's inside the box for the 522 dash cam, the hardwire kit, carry case, and micro SD card. Okay, let's have a closer look at the camera. All right, when you open it, you get the welcome cards, your instruction manual. We'll have a closer look at the camera here. That's the front door. We have the protective shield still on the back. Here's where your micro SD card goes, power button. On the bottom there's some ventilation and the quick capture emergency button. You have an HDMI port on the side for rear camera and your USB charging port here. Now we'll have a look at the accessories. Bunch of things in here. You have the mount, you have a suction mount alternative, you have the 12 to 24 volt cable, USB charging cable, and a tool to pry your trim open so you can conceal the cables when you run them. Let's have a closer look at the click and go mount. It does have a very strong magnet that will clip right under the door right here. Very nice to be able to release it. Like I said, it's pretty strong. You've got to grip it well, and that 3M tape holds to the window just fine, so it's not an issue. And voila, easy to use. Then you have your 12 or 24 volt adapter, and there's an alternative if you want to use a suction cup mount versus sticking it to your window permanently. And you have an extra 3M sticky pad. Okay, let's have a look at the dash cam hardwire kit. What I like about this is the fact that you can do everything with a factory type install, no cutting, no splicing, no soldering. So let's have a look here. In the instruction manual it does say, you know, plan ahead, figure out where you're going to fit everything. There's a nice little indicator in line on the wire that has a blinking LED that will let you know what you have hooked up and if you have it hooked up correctly. So we'll definitely look into that during the install. Inside the package you have what you would expect. You have the power and ground wires, the little module there with the blinking LED as you can see, and we'll definitely again see that in the install. And then you have the power and ground leads. Here's the fuse tap and a ferrite noise trap, which will just help keep any interference out of the line if you need it. But the fuse taps have both sizes of fuses depending on what your car uses. They're a 2 amp fuse. But you can see you just piggyback the original fuse in there, so you're still protected for whatever circuit you tap into. Plus you have the new fuse to protect the dash cam. Okay, the moment everyone's been waiting for, the case and the micro SD card. The micro SD card is the most important part in here. You need something that is a class 3, something that reads and writes very fast, so you don't skip any frames with the footage, and everything is fluid and turns out good. The case, pretty straightforward. Put it in here to protect it if you take it out of the vehicle. But I really think we should start looking at the install, so let's get started. Okay, we need to figure out which fuse box we're going to tap into. So first we got to get some information. Open that up. First we got to take this tray out. Back here, this isn't in the owner's manual, but you have a paper to show you all the fuse locations, and since we're going to tie into this cigarette lighter at the front of the car, we'll want to look up the fuses at the front of the car. Use this map to figure it out. And this fuse box here could be used if we were tapping into the cigarette lighter in the back of the car. Okay, our fuse panel is under here. There we go. Now this can be very tough to get out. I've already loosened it, but getting it out of here isn't the easiest. Last one, right here. So 66 and 69, which is the front panel, and 162, which is the back. So 66 and 69. So on the front panel, that would be the second last one in that row, third one. So you can either go 3 down or the second last one. So we have 1, 2, 3. This guy, this 20 amp fuse here. Let's see, the last one's empty, so this one, we'll probably do this one. So it'll be easier to get at. Just gotta grab the pull tool and grab that fuse out. Here's our pull tool right here. Makes it easier. I think I've changed my mind because 162 in the back will be easier to access because the cap for the front fuse panel is completely sealed, and I don't want to have that compromised by running a wire out of it, and I don't want to drill a hole in this either because that would be permanent. So we're going to move to the back and run the wires from there. Okay, here we are at the back at the trunk. We're looking at 162. We have our fuse tap here. It already has a 2 amp fuse installed. Don't know if you can see that. 2. And we put our 20 in here. Like that. And then we will put it back in place. There, that's in. Now we'll have to wire up this to the tapped in fuse and this to a ground. We'll just test this nut as a ground. Yep, it's a ground. So we're going to use that to ground the dash camera wiring. And then we'll connect our power. And we have our blue LED indicator. So the flashing indicates that we're getting power. If it was solid, it would mean that the dash cam is hooked up. So let's test that next. Okay, we still have the blue light. There it is. Let's temporarily plug in our camera to see if it completes everything. Should fire up. Yep, and we have our blue light. That's good, we're good to go. The only thing is, the cigarette light adapter might be on right now in the car, but these fuse panels, after about 8 minutes, I guess, on at least this series of BMW, it will go dead on that circuit, which is fine because then I won't discharge the battery, all that's safe. But I'll be working on using the built-in battery on the dash cam when in park mode. Okay, so I waited until the circuit shut off, and as you can see, no light. So it's been about 8 minutes or so, maybe 10, I'm not exactly sure. If I unlock the vehicle, everything comes back to life. So again, the only risk is once this circuit shuts off, when we leave the dash cam in park mode, it will be relying solely on the battery in here to initiate any recording. So if several days goes by, this battery might be depleted. I could be wrong, it could last and it's going to be fine. I'm going to leave it like this for now, and if we need to change some of the wiring, there are some other workarounds that you can install that will allow this to always have access to the 12 volt onboard power that the vehicle uses for the starter. Alright, we want to run some wires, but I need access to this side of the vehicle and that's not going to cut it, so let's get this car turned around. Let's fold the seat down. And we're going to try and run the wires down the back here all the way through. Sorry about the lighting. Underneath all the kick plate area, and then up the A-pillar, and then over to the mirror. Canada. Right now we're on mountain time. Kilometers. We will skip this part. Setup complete. We will insert our SD card. Okay, it's already recording. That brings today's video to an end. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button. Also, a big amount of support would come in the way of subscribing to the Don's Life channel. So if you haven't done so already, that would be really cool. I'd love to see how far we can take this. In the meantime, try and stay tuned. I definitely want to do some stuff with the Cameo. When the weather gets better, we have the Escalade we're not done with. We got the new edition, the BMW M4. I haven't even had fun with it yet. Still got the winter tires on it, barely driven it. So I'm hoping you guys can come along for that ride. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon, and thanks for watching. I'm just gonna do a little spin.
Oh my god, wait, what? Oh my god, never.